The safety of this community, the safety of our customers is of our prime importance and our highest priority.
Atmos announces drastic new steps shutting gas off to thousands of customers in the wake of leaks and a deadly explosion in northwest Dallas. We're live from Victory Park. Good morning. I'm Kara Sewell.
And I'm Ron Corning. It was a rare 5 a.m. press conference from Atmos and the city of Dallas, not to mention county officials as well. Here are the big takeaways from that major news event that wrapped up less than an hour ago. 2,800 homes in northwest Dallas will have their gas turned off today. Service will be shut off for up to 3 weeks. Now, Atmos is offering assistance to those families. This is in addition to the 300 residents already impacted. Officials say weather played a major role in a deteriorating system.
So this is the affected area. We want you to take a look. The westbound beginning at Webb Chapel. The northern edge is Walnut Hill. The area stretches east to Lakemont and south all the way to Northwest Highway. And we understand that includes one school. That also includes a doctor's office right on the edge when you're looking at that map, a few businesses as well. But Hannah Davis has been covering this all morning. In fact, she's been out at that neighborhood every day this week, and she's live with an update.
Good morning, Kara. Well, like you said, I've been out here every single day talking to neighbors who say they're frustrated with the lack of information. This morning, we got a lot of information from officials at Atmos, but also the city. Their main message, they're taking big steps because they say this is an unprecedented event, and again, tying that to weather. We've seen people displaced already starting last Friday, staying in hotels all across the city. And this morning we learned that 2,800 homes, additional homes, will be impacted by this. Their gas will be shut down. And Atmos says it's basically the homeowners or renters, whoever lives there, it's their decision whether they stay with no gas, they stay with family, or they can also speak with Atmos about being put up in a hotel. A lot of the people that we've talked to out here that have been in hotels say they're already frustrated a couple days in. So imagine adding 3 weeks to that. We asked Atmos a lot of questions this morning. Here's just a little bit of what they had to say about this operation.
We know we've inconvenienced customers, but we are committed to replacing the entire system. We will divide this whole area into a number of sections. We'll be bringing service back in as quickly as possible, but it may take up to 3 weeks to complete the entire project.
They're talking about the process of basically replacing all of the lining in this area. But we also asked them, what will they be doing for residents? There's a phone number that people in this area can call to talk to them to find out how do they get compensation, those gift cards if they need to stay in a hotel. We're going to be tweeting that information, putting it on our website so you can get that. If you know anybody in this area, give that to them. But there's also 2 areas that people here can go to, or rec centers rather. It's Bachman Rec Center and also Walnut Hill Rec Center, where I am. They're going to start taking questions from the public starting at 4 o'clock today. After that, those questions are going to start at 7 o'clock from 11 o'clock. That's tomorrow. But that gas is going to be shut down starting at noon today. And we also know that crews are going to be going door to door to 2,800 homes, telling them at 8 o'clock that this gas shutdown is about to start. So a lot of information, a lot of changes impacting so many people here in the city of Dallas. Guys, back to you.
All right, Hannah, I don't want to raise a false alarm here because earlier I characterized this as part of this being an evacuation of these homes. So let's try to clarify this if we can. Do the people who live in the areas affected have to leave their homes for any period of time while this gas is shut off and the lines are cleared, or will they be allowed to stay in place?
Excellent question, Ron, and that's a distinction we want to make. It's not an evacuation. Instead, it's turning off the gas. So basically, the people that live in these homes, they get to make the decision. Do you want to stay in your home where you don't have hot water, you don't have heat, and you can't cook? Or do you want to stay with family, or do you want to stay at a hotel? But they do not have to leave. Instead, it's that decision. But think about losing all of that. That'd be pretty difficult to live in for a 3-week time period, guys.
Well, and I gather if there's any financial expense associated with perhaps getting radiant heat that's electric, portable units and so forth, that those are the sort of expenses, the kinds of expenses that Atmos is willing to pick up if people choose to stay in their home?
Ron, I asked them exactly what they're going to do for these residents. I was pushing Atmos this morning to try to get specifics. we didn't get too many specifics. All they said is you call that phone number, you come to these rec centers, and they will help you with any monetary needs. What we've seen so far is they've been handing out $100 gift cards every single day to the people who have been displaced. They've also been putting some people up in hotels.
Okay.
I asked, will that continue with now 2,800 homes? They said that they'll continue the conversation and they will continue to support these folks, but again, they didn't give the specifics, so we're going to follow up on that.
Yeah, that might vary then depending on what sort of appliances you have, gas, electric.
Right.
Hannah, we know you'll follow up with that. Thanks so much. And I think, too, good to make the distinction, turning off the gas versus an evacuation. Perhaps for people who have nothing but gas, it may feel like an evacuation because they're not going to be able to live there, or they would prefer rather not to live there for 3 weeks while these tests are being done and the gas lines are being replaced.
Yeah, if you're just waking up at 6:35 and getting the news that by noon today you won't have gas and you feel your only option is to leave your home, it's going to feel like an evacuation.
Exactly.
Right.
Hannah, thanks for the update. Of course, there are concerns about how school children might be affected with one school in that area.
Yeah, there is one school in this affected zone, that's Stephen Foster Elementary School. They will bring in compressed natural gas to hook up to the existing system there. That's similar to a propane tank you might see at a rural home. News 8's Chris Sadeghi is there now with more on how all of this will work, how students might be affected, and there could be implications here that we've yet to realize as families sort of adjust to this new normal.
Yeah, Ron, it's an idea they come up with, they have it in place, and then you got to work out kind of all the other kinks and details. We are right smack in the middle of that zone where they're going to be degasifying, and we're also right off of Marsh Lane. That's the main thoroughfare that goes straight through, and where if you drive right now down that road, you're going to see a lot of orange road cones, barricades, the crews, the heavy construction digging down deep as they start this process of shutting down and replacing the distribution system. The kids here will have school at this building, though, and you mentioned the way they're going to do that. They're going to bring in some propane gas to power the building, so they will be able to have class here. However, you run into some logistical issues. It was Friday when the explosion happened, about a half mile away. They were able to get the school buses in here quickly, get the kids evacuated to other campuses. But now that these kids are going to be in hotels, staying with family, they admit they're going to have to figure out a way to get them here through the busing system.
This is definitely going to be a challenging few weeks as people are being displaced, as well as kids and others trying to get to and from school. But we're going to work in concert with the Dallas Independent School District, as well as Dallas County, and a variety of other agencies to make sure that the support is there for our residents.
And probably just a few moments ago, I saw the first school bus head out on its route. I've also seen a few teachers and administrators show up here this morning as they begin this school day. But as you've mentioned, the next 3 weeks going to be a challenge in and of itself, just getting the kids to and from the building. Ron and Kara.
Yes, indeed, a lot to consider here, Chris. Thank you very much. And a lot leading up to this. Let's go back to the beginning. It was on Friday, last Friday, that a house exploded on Espanola Drive in Dallas, killing a 12-year-old girl. A school and homes were evacuated after that explosion.
So on Sunday, 90 apartments were evacuated at the Chapel Creek Apartments, and then Tuesday, Fire Station 43 was evacuated, and there have been other home evacuations between those dates too. Now today there is a viewing and a church service for 12-year-old Linda Michelita Rogers.
Yes, she was the little girl killed in that house explosion that started this investigation last Friday. Her family says anyone who wants to come is welcome. That service is at Park City's Presbyterian Church at 6 o'clock, and they are asking for people to wear white. So in the wake of this tragedy, we've had city officials, Dallas County officials, and mostly residents incredibly vocal about complaints about leaking gas, the smell of gas. There were 2 house fires before that explosion that have yet to be attributed to any gas leaks. In fact, the NTSB is handling the investigation into that house explosion. But all of that culminated into what today was an unprecedented 5 a.m. press conference and announcing 2,800 homes, most of them single-family homes, affected now.